Oh, we're still going live. Okay. Try again. Now we're live. Right? Doing this all funky tonight. Come on, phone. Show me. There it is. Okay.
Maybe.
Welcome to another Thursday night jam with RCJesus and SASquatch. After a 2-week hiatus, we are back. We had some scheduling conflicts, and then of course Thanksgiving. So it is what it is, but here we are. Uh, I don't think Chris has anything really for tonight. I don't particularly have a whole lot as far as projects or anything.
Not
Uh,
really. Yeah.
well, as you can see by the background, we are in a different. So I'm at the new house. I was out here having Spectrum hook up the internet and everything today, and they had to run new fiber all the way from the pole across the street out here. And
Ooh.
so by the time they got done setting it up in the Zumo boxes and everything, it was 4.5 hours it took them.
Jeez.
Um, but I have internet here, so I thought, well, fuck it. Let's try it and see how it works. So far I don't seem to be too laggy or anything like that. The router's not too far that way in the office. So it looks like we should be good. Sweet.
How many
Hopefully every,
Aeromaxes you have?
huh?
I'm just noticing how many Aeromaxes you have behind you. At least two.
No, only one.
What's the other one?
There's a King Hauler, Aeromax, Cascadia, Night Hauler, and
Oh,
Bull.
Cascadia. Cascadia and Aeromax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, all of them are unopened, waiting to be built. So yeah,
Right.
there's a whole stack of shit back there. Um, some of it is a lot of it. Most of the associated stuff is new unboxed, whether it's newer
I
or
I would venture to guess 85% of it's still sealed.
on the associated. It's probably yeah.
Oh, in general.
Oh, I don't think it's that bad, but it might be. Um, I can't see anything in the chat, so
I'm watching it. I don't see anything yet.
okay, so it's quiet. Um, hopefully it looks like on my phone here it's not glitching or doing anything stupid. So I think I'm
I think it's just me and you in here right now.
probably. Uh, but you know, it is what it is.
I like the shirt, by the way.
Thank you. Yes, classic Thundercats.
The cats.
Thundercats. That was a great 80s. What was that? Late 80s?
Heck
Early
yeah.
maybe. I think I still have some of the toys.
Nice.
Yeah, they're probably up in Michigan. I'll have to dig through boxes up there, but I know I still got Transformers and He-Man and Ninja Turtles and all
Oh,
kinds of golden 80s shit.
yeah.
Entertain yourself. So yeah, maybe it is just us, which is weird. Usually there's a few people jumping in, but I really don't know what's going on tonight.
Hey, there he is. Juicebox is here.
Balls. What's up, buddy? Um, so yeah, we're just chilling. So one step closer. I found out Tuesday afternoon that the house insurance only lets you keep it vacant for 30 days. So
Oh,
by the time all the paperwork is done and stuff, it was the 11th. So I got to be moved in by the 11th or my
oh,
insurance lapse. And I was planning to wait till like New Year or just after, especially because it's the busiest time of year for me at work.
yeah.
Uh,
Nice empty spot.
yeah, nice and empty, hardly anything in here.
It won't be empty for a while.
Yeah, I think there's only like 100 RCs or 150 RCs back there right now, I think. Um,
How many more are there?
yeah, 7, 8, 900. I don't even know. It's a lot. Like the garage will be fairly full once I'm done, but that'll be later on too. But yeah, so that's why I was like, oh shit, I gotta be on stuff. So now I've got the internet and everything hooked up here. Got moving guys coming to the house on Tuesday to grab all my bedroom stuff and a couch and a table, like half the house worth of shit and run it over so I can actually like live here. I'll split the plates and dishes because there'll still be a few nights I crash at the other place doing shit. So should be nice and fun and hectic. Yeah, that is your birthday. Happy early birthday. Happy birthday to you. I officially move into my new house. But hopefully he'll be down here not too long after his birthday. So it will be kind of happy birthday to him that too, because we will have a good time. Just a few weeks late. Having fever's coming up in just over a month, 5 weeks.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm going to drive.
Yeah.
I've always flown and then flown with either just product or like my little that has the carrying case, the skid steer,
Yeah.
things like that. And then last year I shipped a pallet full of shit. And that was like 600 and something dollars. I really didn't want to do that this year. And it'll probably be a little cheaper to drive than fly too, I think. Even with staying at a hotel one night there and one night back. But I was pleased to find out a bunch of states on the way through have legal weed.
Nice.
So, and dispensaries. So I was like, sweet, I don't even have to worry about like bringing a stash and being all paranoid driving with like 10 pre-rolls. And just bring one or two for the trip and then buy some right before I get to Pennsylvania.
Nice.
My buddy Mike's supposed to be coming again this year. I think that's it though. We had all the crew last year, but I think it's just the two of us this year.
Really? That's it with equipment?
Yeah. I mean, there'll be a shit ton of people at Cabin Fever, but I'm talking like out of my usual crew that goes, everyone's spending money elsewhere, has shit going on, or it's just not a good year for most of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my plans, and then there's nothing going on for me event-wise until Beat the Creek, I think, which is first weekend in May. So I have a bunch of time off to fuck around. I got bored. I was gonna wait a few weeks because I'm tired of hemorrhaging money. But I was looking on Home Depot at implements, cultivators, discs, box drags, lawn sweeper, shit like that last night. And there was 6 hours left on Black Friday, where shit was like 50 or $100 off. I'm like, well, shit, all right. The box drag wasn't on sale, so I didn't order that. But I got the lawn sweeper, the disc, and the cultivator coming. They'll all be here Tuesday. So on next week's show, I'll probably be sitting here on the floor assembling those.
You're a Cub Cadet.
Yep. Getting my little mini tractor, mini farm life going right off the fucking bat. I can't wait to get some buddies over and start building tracks and shit. I'm gonna do a tent, and my shit's not gonna be like hard packed clay or anything. You know, I'm a vintage guy, so it'll be like a vintage early '90s track.
Hey there, Stacy. Hey, Stacy.
What's up, Stacy? So I'm gonna do a 1/10 scale, and then I'm gonna do a 1/8/1/5 that I can run a bolt on out in the back pasture.
Yeah.
I was on Google Earth measuring feet and looking at other tracks and measuring their size and all kinds of shit, comparing how much space I need. And I'm like, that back pasture is just right for both. All right.
Well, you know what else too? I've seen a lot of guys really popular lately with tracks is getting a shipping container for your driver's stand. That's been like a super popular thing.
Oh yeah, I have
you got it stored
already, but I'm not moving.
Yeah.
I'll just build one. Not a big deal. Like it only needs to hold like 8-10 guys. That'll probably be the most that are ever on it at once. So
yeah,
just go get those pre-formed 4x4 block footings. That's what I did at the driver's stand in Michigan. Worked out great. Although now that when I was in my mid-20s, we built a ladder. And we would climb up there, scurry up there.
What's that?
Now that I'm in my mid-40s,
need an elevator.
I'll be building some stairs up to this one, and that'll just make it that much more stable. So it'll be, but all that shit's expensive too. So there may
get a winch and make an elevator, man.
Huh?
Let's get a winch and make an elevator.
Right.
Winch
What's
your
up,
ass.
Tommy? I count as two guys, though. He says, "Yeah, you're pretty standard size for most of the dudes I know, so you're good. That's what I'm building it for." So yeah, so I'm just sitting here with my What a chair with the shit all on a TV tray, kicking it. Dylan's finally entertaining himself with his ball instead of bugging me for the last 20 minutes. What's everybody else up to? There's not a lot of people in here, but we got a few of us.
Did the Operation Live and Charlie show Monday. That was fun.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I was on there Monday. Yeah, big. It was fun. I haven't been on there for a long time. They brought me on, gosh, probably a couple years ago after I started sponsoring them. Really
Yeah.
early on, when they were still. I mean, more than a couple of years ago, they were still really like they were going, but they didn't have the following yet, like they do now. Not even close.
Yeah.
God, it was like 3 years ago. God, I can't remember
Well,
when I
yeah,
did that.
they've been at it like 3 or 4 years now, at least, I think.
I mean, look, I can actually probably
I didn't
right here.
realize, well, what was I doing Monday? Monday nights, I'm usually doing something and can't watch. Sometimes I can jump on, but
Yeah.
I don't remember what I was doing. I got back from Michigan, so I was still working and shit, catching up.
Um, shit, yeah.
Nice. Tommy's heading to the Exo Cage meet and greet this weekend. That should be fun.
No, shit. It was 3.5 years ago I started sponsoring those guys, so that was a while
Yeah.
ago. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's been over 2 years since I've been on their show, and it was cool. They got into everything. They were like asking about the speakers, and they're like, "Well, what else do you do?" So I'm pulling out the gyro wheel, the
Right.
double wheel, and the crane conversion, and my other conversion, and then I don't remember what else I pulled out. I pulled all kinds of shit out, and then they were asking I can't remember, scale rat. Crap.
Pezza.
Yeah. He started asking me about like robots and that stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, I do robotics, and he's in the Star Wars, and he's like, oh, droids, we need to talk about this, and like we're having a heyday talking about that.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got
And he loves 3D printing too. So
Yeah, we dove into all kinds of crap, so it was pretty fun. Oh, the
nice.
Borderlands buggy, the three wheelers, talking about
I
those.
think so.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff. So yeah, he said he was gonna look at a bunch of stuff for me and start talking to me about stuff. So I'm excited to see where that goes.
Nice.
He's a pretty cool
Yeah.
dude. Like, so
That's the fun shit about doing shows and going to events and all that shit and meet people and stuff is swapping ideas and info and sources and
yeah,
doing shit together. It's a good time.
yeah, it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. God, we were like over like 2 hours, I think, and just
Yeah.
blabbing. I was blabbing on him and all kinds of stuff. I mean, 3D printing, everything. I mean, got into my full scale stuff, like talking about my Datsun and building it. Oh, we got everything.
You haven't worked on that much in a while, right?
Um, I need to fabricate, and
Yeah.
I don't have a 220 outlet in my garage, so I can't run my TIG. So I got a brand new TIG welder I bought probably 2 years ago. Just sitting there waiting for me to wire a 220 outlet and all the wire, the outlet, everything to do 220. I gotta cut out a spot in the wall above my electrical box because there's not enough room in the header of the wall to run the wire through. It's already packed up too much.
Okay.
It's an old house, so I mean,
Yeah.
it was a really old breaker box when I moved in. I actually swapped out the whole main panel a few years ago, and so I got more room now. But I don't have, yeah, there's just not enough holes in the wall, so I gotta cut the wall out. And my garage was an addition, so the wall that my garage shares with the house actually has like wood and plywood, and like
Yeah.
it's not just drywall. So
Yeah. It's an exterior wall.
yeah, and it was a mill house, so like my flooring and my walls are not like OSB. It's like 1x6,
Hmm.
late, like in tongue and groove. Like it's gnarly shit.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's great, but
That'll
cutting
last forever.
sucks. But yeah, but cutting through it sucks. So,
Yeah. Working on
uh,
it's a bitch, but
so I got to cut out a spot so I can drill some more holes in the top of the wall to run the wire and then pull it. Yeah, I got a bunch of electrical to do still. I've just been avoiding it. I need to get it done.
my TIG is a Hobart 190, so it runs on 110. I think I can do 110 or 220, but I got
Mine'll
both.
do 110. Mine'll do 110, but I don't have a good enough dedicated circuit in the garage even for 110.
Yeah.
Pulling a welder off it. I have a nice little MIG, a Lincoln MIG, but
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Not TIG, MIG.
yeah, I got a little Lincoln 110 MIG, but even it starts popping breakers and shit. The outlets, the
Yeah.
wiring's not good enough. I need to run a 30 amp service for my RV, and I can I'm gonna run a outlet off of that for a normal standard 20 amp plug, so I can have a high amperage plug out there to like run my welder out in the driveway for my Lincoln, my 110, and then I need to run a 220 in the garage for both, so I can set up a welding station. I got a welding table, everything ready to go, just no power. So, but yeah, I got to start welding the cage into it, do all the fabricating for the motor mounts and the trans mounts, some body work, and then I have to sandblast it, primer it in,
Nice.
and putting it back together. So
Yeah, because you have all the other shit done, right? All your drivetrain and all that's ready to go,
I have
right?
all the pieces. I don't
Yeah.
have a drive line yet because
Okay.
I haven't permanently mounted the motor trans yet, and then I'm still trying to figure out what I want to do for a differential because it's just got the stock R160 in it right now, and I'd like to do a 180 limited slip, but it's like fucking unobtainium to buy an R180 limited slip right now.
Yeah.
And then there's
Well,
guys
a
using
lot of those cars are hot, so all those parts that were around are gone now.
well, that's yeah, I mean it's out of parts out of like 240 SXs, which are drift cars now, and
Yeah.
so the real popular one is a R180 out of a Subaru is a real popular conversion because those are dime a dozen. They're out there all over the place, but I just have to go do a U-pull and find one for it's not going to cost me $900.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy that makes CVDs instead of the standard dog like the standard
You
universal
joint.
drive lines. Yeah, so you get the diff, you buy a conversion kit, and does CVDs, and they're pretty solid after that. So, but I
Nice.
haven't got that yet. But I got a trans, I got the motor, the trans, ECU, steering rack, steering column, fuel cell, cage, seats, steering wheel. I mean, I got wheels, brakes, I got everything, ball new bearings, suspension, full coilover kit. It's all just sitting, waiting for me to
I know how that is.
finish the body. Well, it's so fabricating. I was gung ho. I was going good. Had the whole thing stripped out. I cleaned it really good. I cut out some really bad body panel spots and got new metal. I got the floor cut out of the driver's side with a whole brand new floor pan sitting there waiting. I just need to get in there and weld it up.
That's a lot of work, all that body work. Carlos
I don't
had
mind that.
something, but my Spanish isn't good enough. It's Carlos, and then the emoji thing blocks it. It's of the other something, or I can't.
Carlos versus El de la Otra Semana.
Yeah, I
Nice.
probably 10 years ago I probably could have read that, but I can't translate it now. I haven't been using my Spanish enough.
uh,
Oh, you Google translating it? There you
Working
go.
on it. Carlos versus the one from the other week.
Uh,
Sure, you know what that translates out to.
he might have been in the shop or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So the Datsun, yeah, I want to work on it really bad, like really, really bad. Yeah. My garage is also a mess, so there's that too.
That's what I was looking when I was loading. I loaded up the sealed Clodbuster and the Super Clod lunchbox boxes, some all axial boxes. Those ones were all empty because they're all built, except for the original Clodbuster, still sealed. It's got the Chevy emblem, the good one. Um, but I was looking through the garage, walking out with the boxes, looking at all these other boxes for the Bronco of just parts. So they're all big, fucking heavy boxes. I'm like, God damn it. Do not want to move all this shit. My buddy Johnny's coming over Saturday. We're gonna load up the Contour SVT out of the garage on his gooseneck.
That's what I
Maybe
was
the
gonna ask about.
Bronco
How's you
drives. We're gonna load that up on there too because he's got enough room for both. So then one trip we can do them both.
Yeah,
Uh, and then I'll be able to get the. He's gonna help me tow the engines in the trailer over here, and we're gonna get the engines out into the shop. And I'm gonna park the Contour in the shop for now because I don't want to eat in space in here till I've got all my RC boxes in here organized and in the house. But I don't want to leave it outside. And the Bronco's been sitting outside, so I'll just leave it in front of the garage. And if I need to move it, I can start it up, move it, no problem. Um,
yeah.
So we're gonna crank that out Saturday, thankfully to him. My buddy Ryan Cornmesser, and his wife Shelly are gonna be down from RC Addict and 18 other brands they own, Helios, Bauhaus, Deluxe, all kinds of shit, spare time. Um, they're coming down to go on a cruise, and they were going to show up Sunday. I'm like, well, would you guys mind showing up at like noon on Saturday? 'Cause we could actually use some help and some manpower. We got some big blocks that need moving. Two dudes can't really lift those very easily at our age. Um, so that should help make all that good and have a good time.
You don't have an engine picker?
I do,
Oh.
but the hectic part is it won't go in far enough to the trailer to hook to it. So they're on pallets, so it's not too bad. But you need 3-4 dudes, right, pulling on a pallet to move a fucking big block with a boat transmission on it. It's probably 1,000 pounds. So once I can do that, then I can get the first one out. Then we can drag the one that's at the nose of the trailer back. And then we might be able to just hook them to a fence post and just have me pull up till they get to the edge. That'll probably be what we actually do. We're too old for that fucking physical shit. But then I can pick that one out. And like I said, since they're on pallets, once I pick them up and move the pallet, so where I want it, boom. And then I can take the trannies off and all that shit and get them on my engine stands. But then I have the trailer to use. And it's a 12-foot by 6, I think, trailer. So it'll fit quite a bit of shit if I stack it neatly.
Yeah.
So come Saturday, shit'll start kicking.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my one part-timer wants to work full-time for extra holiday money, and my other part-timer that's a college student is out of college. So I'm like, sweet, well, of all times to have way too much shit going on, this is a good time because I don't have to be much. So I'll hopefully get a lot done in the next week or two, and by Christmas we'll probably be pretty well wrapped up with almost everything here, I think. And I was thinking more like mid-January. So
yeah,
we got a few week boost with the insurance going, hey, you got to move in. Oh, sweet. At least I had 8 days notice, not like 3. That would have sucked.
Yeah, I know what it's like, bad.
Hey, by the way, you moved in yet? No, still moving shit. Well, you got 3 days. What? Fuck.
I mean, yeah, I moved in already.
Yeah, I've been living there for like 3 weeks, man. What are you talking about? I need to stop by. I'm almost never there because I'm working, and when I'm there, I'm sleeping late at night. So
yeah.
But I'm psyched. We should have some fun projects to do.
Nice.
And I know I got a bunch of friends locally and from out of state that are like, hell yeah, dude, we want to come down and run shit and help work on and build shit. I was like, yes, it's gonna be a riot.
That's awesome.
And now I'll be able to use my shit.
Yeah.
Like a lot of this, it's hard to have motivation to build all this stuff and whatnot when I have no.
You'll have room. Yeah, you'll have
exactly. I had no space for shit. My house and the shop, my office was a clusterfuck of RC boxes. It was crazy.
Right. Yeah.
And 2, I had no motivation because unless I was going to events, I didn't run RCs. You know, my yard and shit really isn't big enough for it. And I'm not gonna run them out in the street because there's always people parked on the street and kids riding bikes and shit. So just like, all right, but now fuck, I can step outside. Like once the track's done and I have the Warrant 14 shit done, I'll probably get bored by myself in a half hour. That's all right. Charge up a pack or 2, go have fun, get bored, come back in. Run a different car every day.
You can run every car every day for a year.
For like 3. It's bad. I am really psyched to get everything in one spot, though.
It's only a problem if it's a problem, and it's not a problem.
Yeah. Well, all the RCs have never been in like one spot, like one room, or even the house that was all split.
I was like me with my garage this last summer. I put up a bunch of shelves and put all my RCs and shelves in the back of my garage. It's like, this is so nice.
Yep. When I break shit, I can like put a little post-it note on it. Motor blown out or shock blown out or whatever, you know.
Blue bearing.
Yep. Go to it. Oh, not running this one today. I'll get back to that one.
I was talking the Operation 11 Charlie show. We were talking about TJ and videoing me jumping those Mini Coopers.
Yeah.
Was talking about, I was like, oh yeah, and I jumped my Outcast, and I was like, oh yeah, I still haven't ordered the part for that Outcast.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a
Yeah,
blast running those things.
yeah. The Outcast was me and the other guy had the same problem. His got worse than mine. The rear skid plate isn't flush with the chassis. It's got that little dip.
Yep.
And when hitting the jump, it was sagging the rear suspension, and the bottom of the jump was hitting that,
Yeah.
and it ripped both of our skid plates off. Mine was just the skid plate, the aluminum brace for the A-arm pin stayed in,
Yeah.
just the skid plate. His, it ripped that whole aluminum brace off too for the A-arms. So his
Oh,
A-arm,
so it was fucked.
his A-arms just went.
I think that was that this year.
Yeah,
I think I remember seeing him like driving it all fucked up. Like
yeah. So
he
I,
was sending that bitch.
yeah, we were both sending them tandem. You got video of us sending them the Outcast tandem.
Yeah.
Um, Yeah, mine was still drivable, but his, it ripped that aluminum piece off, so he couldn't keep going. Mine was just the plastic got ripped off.
Yeah.
No, but I got to order that plastic piece. All the screws stayed in the chassis and everything. It was just rip that
The
plastic.
well, you guys were hitting that shit hard as fuck.
Oh, full throttle, like just
As it should be. Uh,
sending them. Yeah.
but the Pro line makes skid protectors for the bottom of the whole chassis of like the 10th scale shit,
Ah,
but I don't think they do for the 8S.
yeah, for the big guys. Yeah.
Well, not yet, at least. Maybe they will.
I wish RPM made a skid plate for it because that's what I would do is put an RPM skid plate on it, but they don't make one.
Yeah.
So they make A arms, but they don't make the skid plate.
Yeah.
I'd love to have an RPM skid on there because those are fucking bulletproof.
Yeah. And if you break it for life, you get a new one for free.
Yeah.
You just send them a picture in an email and go, I hit a ramp and this happened. Okay. One's on the way. They're good about that.
Oh, they're awesome. They have always been. Those guys make good stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was gonna buy a stock one, put it on there, place it, and it'll be fine. But yeah, I beat the snot out. I think I converted 3 or 4 people away from getting a X Max,
Yeah.
and they're now getting a Arma.
It drives and handles way better.
Oh yeah, there was a guy out there with an X Max, and he kept breaking stuff. And then I was out there with my Outcast just sending it, and everybody's like, hmm.
It's hard to break the Arma shit, man.
That's so tough.
Yeah.
So tough. It's ridiculously tough.
When
And
people
it's
come in with
powerful.
broken shit, I'm like, "Ooh, you really did something nice."
Yeah, what the fuck did you do? Yeah, I mean, you got to think of how hard that skid plate was hitting that jump at full throttle with all
Yeah.
that weight. And it did it 3 or 4 times probably before it ripped the skid plate off. Like
Yeah.
it wasn't like the first shot. And then even afterwards, the truck would still drive. I was still sending it off that jump, full send,
Yeah.
at least 10 or 15 more times, and it still wasn't broken. It drove away. It's just
It was better then because it wasn't hitting the fucking skid plate going up.
yeah. I just had to watch to make sure my arm pins weren't sliding out because there wasn't
Right.
the pins in anymore.
Yeah.
They didn't even budge. They stayed right put.
Yeah, they were fucking caked up with enough sand. Yeah, they were
Well,
solid.
I probably tweaked that aluminum support just a little.
You're right.
So it probably pinched.
Yeah. Part of the design. If you fuck the skid plate up, it bends this part so it doesn't fall apart.
So I'm gonna have fun trying to get the screws out though, because they stayed in and they're all
Yeah.
when we're just
Yeah, you're gonna be holding the screwdriver going
Oh,
around weird.
they're like a 45, man. Those heads of those screws are so tweaked. That was awesome.
Hopefully next year, well, next year I'm at Vonats, but the year after that, I want to try and drive out
Yeah. Oh, really?
my
Yeah.
Mini that's sitting there and like fucking
Yeah.
5T
5T.
converted and
Yeah.
fucking DBXL, the heavy equipment. Just
Yeah,
load
you're
it up.
converting that 5T to electric, aren't you?
Yeah.
And you got a DBXL back there too, right?
Yep.
That's the next one. I want a DBXL bad.
They're
I
fun.
like that. Right? I like that.
And all those are tough as nails too. I mean, look what we did
Yeah.
with minis this year. It was,
Yeah, I haven't. I think the one I did look at it, and it was the bearings on the clutch bell went. So,
yeah.
which I mean, that's fair. That car is shit, I bought it when it was brand new, and I used to drive it in the snow constantly. So
Yeah,
I replaced all the bearings of it 2 years ago when I had the Pro Light, but that's the two bearings I didn't replace were the damn clutch bell bearings.
that's what
So
got you.
that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, that's a wear
Think about
item.
it.
It's clutch bell
Well,
bearings.
I just didn't even think about it. It's funny because I have the bearings. I found them, and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, there's a couple extra bearings, and I'm like, fuck, those are the ones I forgot. The fucking clutch
Yep.
bell.
That's
So
how it goes every time.
I had the whole thing apart too. I could have done it. They were right there. It was just been like no big deal, but
That's
yeah.
the 5T conversion is almost done, but there was four bolts that hold the motor mount on, I think, that are so Loctited, dude. I couldn't
Ooh,
get it with hand tools. And so I got a fucking ratchet and a 3/8 ratchet, and it still didn't want to go. I'm like,
Jesus.
so I'm gonna have to get out here with the map gas or the soldering
Yep.
iron and
Eat that fucker.
heat them
Yep.
up and get the fucking 1/2 inch ratchet out with the bigger bit. Pop, sweet.
And then you're gonna break the heads off them.
What's up, Dave? That's all right. I don't need the motor mount, so that works too. Whatever. If I have to, I can just drill them out, I guess. But I'd rather try and take it apart the proper way
Do it the
until it
right way. Right,
breaks.
right, right.
Um, but yeah, then that's all set. I just got to put the motor and shit in it and whatnot. The body's got to get painted, but
Yeah.
I'll pawn that off to my buddy
You know
D-Bag.
people. You know people that know people.
Well, my buddy Dwayne moved down here from Iowa. He lives about an hour away, and he's a
Nice.
badass painter. He does a lot of like all my box art bodies and race bodies and
Yeah.
shit. He did my Vanquishes, uh,
Whew.
that shit with the tractor themes, and
Yeah.
so got it. I'll send it to him, and he'll be able to paint it up with the cage and everything, because that's what's sitting on top of the DBXL is the clear body and cage.
Yeah.
It's not the box, but the truck is. With all the parts, I believe. I haven't looked in it in like 3, 4 years. Some of those memories came up not long ago when I was doing that project and live in the shop.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago now.
I
That
I
workbench has been covered in parts for like 3 years.
I haven't talked to you guys since I got my new printer. That thing's fucking rad. I guess we did
Oh
talk.
yeah, sure. Yeah, I talked to you in
We did.
Michigan.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um, I ordered my bamboo last night.
Oh, you got a bamboo, huh?
I got an X1 carbon coming.
Okay. Right on.
I was like, I know too many people that like know the support channels for this. It's too
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah. Yeah, I like my Creality. I really like it. So
Yeah.
I'm glad I got it. I like the system. I like how it works, and it's printing pretty good so far. I want to tweak it. I just gotta figure out how. It's so different than my older printers on how to mess with settings and stuff. It's the same but different. Like it's all the same settings, the same verbiage, but how you adjust it is different, I guess. The best way to put it.
Well, yeah, it's all new technology and better and fancier now, probably.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, it has some new tech, but the stuff I'm wanting to adjust is the same shit I used to adjust.
Yeah.
But it's just navigating their interface to know how to adjust it right. So
No.
it's like I made some settings I thought would be better and they weren't. So I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. And I started looking into it. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I got to do other stuff too. And I don't like there's more I have to do. It's just different. That's all. It's like a Ford Chevy Dodge kind of thing. It's same stuff, different way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get comfortable with it. My other printers, I've got shit, 3 years, 4 years under my belt on those. So I've only had this a couple weeks, so it's good. I'll get
Yeah.
it. I'll get it done. But it's fucking fast. Jesus, it's fast.
That's the big upgrade from back in there. Because I remember when people would like print little shit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, this took 19 hours. I'm like, God damn.
Yeah. I mean, the time that it takes, like I printed some of my enclosures last night. I got a guy that ordered 5 systems from me, and it would take overnight to do one enclosure box. And I
Yeah.
can 5 now in the night. Like I can probably do 6. I could probably do 6 of my enclosures overnight now in one shot.
Yeah, because you
It's
got a bigger bed than you used to now too, right?
it's a bigger bed and the level's better because it's all auto leveling and auto correcting. So like on my older printers, some spots on the bed don't print very good.
Oh, okay.
Slow. So they're slower printers. So like even if I did 4, it would take like 2 days.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's the speed's the big one, not even so much the bigger print bed, because I could cram 4 of them onto my other printers, but it would just take forever. I mean, forever. And then the chance of failure goes up when your print time goes up. So um yeah, being able to print like 5 of them in 10 hours is crazy. Just crazy.
Yeah, I want to start doing prototype parts and cabs and all kinds of shit for the 114 stuff.
Yeah. It is funny though, because it's since it's so fast, it's noisier. And I'm
Yeah.
not used to having a noisy printer anymore. My old printers, the ones I'm running now, are really quiet. And my
Yeah.
old printers, my first printers were really noisy because the stepper motors and the controllers were noisy. And then the newer version, when I my second upgrade that I did, they have the newer motor drivers, newer controllers, so they're super quiet. I mean, you just hear the fans, that's it, dead quiet. And then going up to the Creality, how fast it is, it's noisy again. So I'm like, whoa, I'm not used to that anymore. I'm not used to that. Like,
Better than an old dot matrix printer.
oh yeah, no, it's still not as loud as my old 3D printers. Those were really noisy.
Yeah.
I still have one. That one right there is one of my oldies. It still runs great. I still use it for all kinds of stuff, but it's still not as loud as that thing. That thing's noisy. So
Uh, Stacy says they've got a bamboo and a Creality. All
yeah, I started out way back, like 8, 9 years ago. I started out with basically a Creality printer. Um, it was a dual extruder Core XY, and I loved it until the main board died in it. And I still have pieces of it around. But when the main board died, I looked up the cost of a main board, and the cost of a main board was the same cost as a newer style printer. So I was like,
yeah.
well, and that's when I went to these. So actually, I've done 4 upgrades because I went from that to these. I had 2 of these. These were A-net A1s. These were like the composite frame, or they're like acrylic. They're not the wood, but they're acrylic frame, old school style gantry. And then I went to the basically Ender 3 clones is what I've got now. My Voxelab Aquilas.
Okay, yeah, because those were a big one for a long time now, those under
They
threes.
still are. They're still a really rock solid printer.
Yeah.
Prusa i4, Prusa 4s are like Ender 3 and Prusa 4. Those have been around forever and they just work. So, and they're cheap. Like you can get them for like $130 now. Like
Yeah, because they're
you
old.
get
Yeah.
you can get Ender 3 for something like that. So I mean that's even Creality. Like what I'm running now is Ender
Yeah.
3 clones, which is basically I use a lot of Creality parts on it to upgrade it. So I've kind of stuck with them and they've always done well by me. So and I watched lots of reviews, and I ended up with that K1 Max. I wanted something big, and I like it. It's
Yeah.
rad. So it's so cool
Yeah.
having.
Being able to print like whole cabs and things like that is awesome.
Oh yeah, it's wild. And the
And
hardest part I'm
yeah,
finding,
K100 cab is on the list.
the hardest thing I'm having a hard time with right now is just finding good files. God, there's like I keep downloading ones, and they're just not designed for RC. They're just not cut
Yeah.
or spliced very well, and so now I'm looking at, okay, how can I get these and modify them without losing a bunch of quality, or do I start fucking trying to do my own files, which is a lot of time.
Yeah, I
Um,
have a feeling doing cabs will take forever.
well, and then the hard part is some of these files, they want you to buy it for $10. And it's like, yeah, $10, but I don't want to buy it. And it's not what I want.
Yeah.
Like,
You're just throwing 10 bucks in the trash.
yeah. And it's like, okay, after a while, $10, $20, $30, I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I don't want to keep doing that.
Yeah.
So I've actually have a backlog of some bodies that I've found and purchased and downloaded over the years, but for some projects I want to do, but
Yeah.
uh yeah, yeah. That's what I've been running into lately is just trying to find good quality bodies. Like there's one I'm actually probably gonna. I need to go look it up again. Guy had a print for a MK1 Golf GTI
Oh, nice.
Rabbit, which is I'm
Yep.
a big nut of. I still have my Mark IV GTI. I used to have a Mark
Oh,
III. I've had GTIs for a long time, and Tamiya has made a few of them, but they're unobtainium now. You can't find a Mark III or Mark One for a decent price anymore. Well, the
yeah.
Mark One, I guess they're redoing, but the Mark Two, Mark Threes are a nightmare to
Hard
find.
body, ABS,
No, even the Lex,
Lexan.
yeah, they were paid. Um, so it'd be cool to be able to print some of those, but I found, yeah, I think there's guys on Mark One, but I've never found a Mark Two, Mark Three, or Mark One and Mark Two are the same pretty much, but a Mark Three or Four, which is what I'd like to have, but
I
hard to come
test
by.
drove a newer one than those in '03
I mean, a Mark
many years
Five.
ago.
Well, no, an '03,
R6
no,
GTI.
an '03 would be a Mark Four, which is what I have. I have a 2000. That's a Mark Four.
Yeah, it was fun as fuck that car with the six
It's
speed
the
and
heaviest
the
one they ever
R6.
made.
Yeah, but it's
Mark
still
Four is the heaviest.
riot for the. I mean, nowadays it's considered slow, but back then, dude, that was a fast little fucking car. That test drive
Well,
was a
that's
good
the
time. I got to go like 10 miles. I had a blast.
that was the last year of the VR6s, which is my motor. That's my jams VR6. So
They're a crazy engine.
VR6 is a beautiful engine.
Way they work though, like
It's the
they're nuts.
precursor to the W12 that's in the Bugatti. Like that motor
Yeah,
was
exactly.
about the VR. So the VR6 is a just wicked cool motor. And then you even tell gearheads about it and what they are and how they work, and they're like, "What the fuck?" Like
They're nuts.
it's a V. It's not a V and it's not an inline. It's in between. They're staggered. They call it a staggered six technically.
Yeah,
Single cylinder head. 15 degrees of V. Combustion chambers are in the pistons. The head's flat. They're just a really wild engine.
they are wild, man.
And
Back in the day, I thought it was just a V6.
yeah, until you look
And
at it,
sometime later, I learned how they're really built, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
fucking stout too. They're built stout.
Yeah.
Um,
Well,
and
since it's close to an inline,
mhm.
it's gonna be tough.
Yeah, you don't have a bunch of crazy angle on your crank and your pistons. It's
Yeah,
only 15,
few
so you
degrees.
don't
Yeah.
have all that extra side load on the pistons from the rods.
Yep.
They do wear after a while. That's like one thing about VRs. If they get really old, is they do start to wear into the cylinder walls on one side a little more, just because of that 15 degrees of V. But it's not horrible. Like my Mark IV is a VR. I've never opened it. It's got 220,000 miles on it.
Yeah.
The last time I drove it was last year. It sat for a year. I put oil in it. I aired up the tires, put on my slicks, and started it. And I went autocrossed it for a day. Beat the shit out of it. And it was like, okay. And I put it away.
Yeah.
Like,
I bet
and
that's
it's
a fun car on autocross, huh?
oh, I love it. Yeah. I mean, I've got coilovers on it. All I've done is coilovers, and I've got Brembo pad, or no, I've got Hawk pads on it and Brembo rotors. So Brembo rotors, Hawk pads, coilovers. Otherwise, it's stock.
Yeah.
And it's just fun to just go beat the fuck out of it and have it. I've had that car forever. I bought it with 40,000 miles on it.
Nice.
I've had that. It was my daily forever, and then it got put away. It's kind of just I don't want to hurt this thing anymore and sit there. Oh, it's got 3-inch stainless. That's right. I did a 3-inch stainless cap back on it forever ago.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. It just sits over my side yard. It's on a solar battery tender. Just sits there. Need to put it on jacks so I don't ruin the tires.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it just sits there, and I'm usually too busy in the summer to pull it out, and in the winter I don't want to with it. So
Yep.
poor thing just sits there and does nothing. I need to get it out and move it more. But it's just that car I'll never get rid of. I own it. It just sits there.
That's like almost the exact same story as me with the SVT. I bought that
Yeah.
thing, oh, 5, I think it was. It was a 99 with 58,000. Came from
Yeah.
Texas, so it was clean as fuck.
Yeah.
I kept it clean, I didn't drive it much in the winter. It did see winter driving, but not a shit ton, and I always washed it. So it's in good shape still, but it's just been sitting in the garage since I quit dailying it. It was the same thing. I dailied it, and it was getting what 100. How many miles are on it now? I think 150,
Yeah.
158, something like that.
Yeah.
And the AC wasn't working right, and in Florida, that's mandatory
Yeah.
shit. And I was like, ah, it's getting older. I don't want to beat
Yeah.
it to death. Same thing. Like,
Yep.
I'll just put it away and wait until sometime I get the ambition to clean it all up and give it a minor little overhaul, do
Yeah.
time chain, and all that kind of shit, go through it. And then drive it again as a toy someday. But
Yeah.
so it's just been
That's how
sitting
mine is. It's if it's
here.
not the only run rarer than what I have. So I have a GLX, which is the fully loaded VR, black leather interior. It's a really rare orange that's not very common on it. It's a metallic orange color, factory.
Okay.
And then the other weird thing about mine is that it's a 2000, so it's a weird half year model. So
Hmm.
for half of 2000, they put the 12 valve VR in it because the 24 valves weren't ready.
Yeah.
So I have a 12 valve Mark IV, and they only did it for half a year. And it's a really rare setup. So it's like there's actually parts in the engine bay where you can tell they use like a body saw or a Dremel to clearance things. Like
Really?
yeah, because the oil dipstick's farther forward, so they had to cut out a spot there, and you can see it's just rough cut.
That's
Um,
funny.
and then where they had to put the air box is weird. Like it's different than a 24 valve. So it's a 12 valve VR and a Mark IV, and they only did it for I think half a year because like midway through building them, the 24 valves are ready, and they put the 24 valves in. So it's kind of a rare one. The only one rarer than that would be an R32, which I would
Yeah.
also get my paws on, but I'd like a Mark V R32 because that's the last year you can get a VR6 and a GTI
I saw a
basically.
blue one of those a few weeks ago down here. First
They're
time I've
pretty
seen
much.
it in
I think
years.
the Mark Fives were only. No, I think there was silver too. Blue and silver, I think, was the only colors you can get in a Mark V R32. I think, and they're all numbered. They're a one, like
Yeah.
5,000 or something. And I've seen a couple pop up. Really tempted, but it's hard to find one with low miles that's not beat to hell.
Yeah.
Um, but that's another one like I'd like to have a Mark V. That's the only car I would actually get rid of my current GTI for. Would be a Mark V.
Right.
Because that's just a super cool rare car, and it's the last of the VR6s and the GTIs. Because after that they went to the 2 liter turbo, and that's all you could get basically. It's a 2 liter turbo
Yeah.
GTI. So yeah, I'm a big VR fanatic.
That
Uh,
engine was really cool. I only got to drive one that one time, but it was awesome. The
they just sound
the
good.
way it responded.
Gobs of torque,
Yeah.
sound great. Um, yeah, there's a cool engine, fun engine to drive. And if you take care of them, they run great. They last for a
What's up,
while.
Sean?
So,
Yeah,
man,
it's a good design.
yeah,
Around a long time for a reason.
it's a good one. Yeah. And I got my pickup that I drive in the summer, my rabbit diesel pickup. I love that thing too.
Oh, you got a Rabbit diesel pickup?
Yeah, I got an 83
Yeah.
rabbit diesel 5 speed. Diesel, it's fucking rad. I I get
Crazy.
I get more looks at car shows with that out of any car I have.
I
Any
haven't
car.
seen one of those in years. There was an old timer that had one in Michigan. I'm talking
Yeah.
like 25, 30 years ago. Well, not one, he had like eight. He was big into them. So whenever
Yeah.
they were available, like he'd snatch them up. Never
Yeah.
ever saw one on the road. Only time I ever
Yeah.
saw one like was driving by his place and like fire.
I got mine. It's a weird story. It's from my like he'd be like my second uncle or something. He's my grandfather's brother's son.
Yeah.
So my grandfather, brother's son, second uncle, I think something. He he had it in Southern California, had it forever. Um, he is or was, he's passed away. He's 7'2".
Damn, I'd be fitting there.
So what he did is he took the back of the seat off and put a cushion against the back of the cab and drove it like this.
Jesus.
And when he passed away, his sister lived actually a couple hours from me here in Oregon, and she got it. I don't know how she ended up with it, but she had it. She gets a hold of me and she's like, "Hey, this thing, I heard you like these things." And I'm like, "How'd you?" And his name is Mike. I'm like, "How'd you end up with Mike's truck?" And I don't even know how they got it here, but she couldn't get it into reverse. So I went and looked at it. And I messed with it, and I'm like, "I don't know." I was like, "I'd have to have some time with it." Then she decided she wanted to move, and she's like, "Do you want it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I want it."
I'll
And
fix
I've
this
had it
thing.
ever since. I've had it for 10 years now, and um, ended up just being the shifting linkage. All of the bushings were shot in the shift linkage. So it's
Yeah.
just, and it's
Typical
still,
shit.
I've replaced most of the shift linkage link, and it's still a slosh box. You got to know where to put it. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like 320,000 miles on it. Still starts I can go out right now. Well, no, it wouldn't start right now. It's 20 degrees out. It will not start at 20
Yeah, it's
degrees.
gelled up.
If it's like over 45, it'll start right up. No problem. Just
Yeah.
and I'll take that thing to car shows and I'll come rolling and tick, 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 just the diesel's rattling and everybody's, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, it's a front wheel drive diesel pickup
Yeah.
with a 5-speed. And everybody's like, what?
It's the Rabbit El Camino.
It's like if they put a Ranchero in an El Camino.
Yeah.
Or no, a Tornado. A Tornado in El Camino. That would be like what it is.
Yep.
If you put a Tornado motor in El Camino.
There you go. It's just third the size of that car.
Oh yeah, I barely fit in the fucking thing. I had to put in like a freaking because I haven't found an original seat yet, and I'm gonna make a nice bench seat for it when I have time. But for now, I just got like a O'Reilly special in there, and it sits so much higher than the stock seat that my head is like right on the top of the cab, and there's no headliner in it. So it's like even without the headliner, my head's like right up on the metal.
Yeah, right to the sheet metal.
And I have to bend down and look to see the stoplights. I gotta like this because I'm so tall up in the cab. And then the shifter's way down there, so I gotta reach down to shift it. Like it's
So the funny part is you just described an absolutely miserable driving experience, but you love driving, don't you?
it's absolutely horrible to drive, but I love it.
Yeah. It's funny how that works.
It's a roll down windows. I roll my windows down. Everybody says it looks like I look Mr. Incredible driving it. Like you've seen
Right.
my arms hanging out, and I'm like this, and I'm like,
Yeah, that thing should run forever, being an old VW diesel.
I put diesel in it twice a year, maybe,
Yeah.
and it just goes. It's got to be
They
40,
give like 43 miles a gallon or
at
something.
least. Still does. It just you don't watch the gas gauge; just never moves. You're like, oh, it started to move finally. It's just
Now that I've driven through a whole state.
yeah, it just goes forever. It doesn't.
6-gallon tank. That's all.
I got it up. I got it up to 70 once and scared the shit out of myself.
Yeah.
So 55, it's really happy. I just get
Yeah,
on the
because in
phone.
83,
Yeah,
the speed limits were back over 55 in 83, weren't there? Was this, it might, I think it might
it'll do
55.
70, but if I like went through and did the motor mounts and the suspension bushings and the steering rack, like if I went through and did all that, 70 would probably be okay. It'd probably do it.
Yeah,
I
it's
wouldn't
just
like
all
it.
flopped out and old.
It's because it's a 5-speed. I have that extra gear.
Yeah.
But I'm revving the nuts out of that poor little diesel by 70. So
I figured because I don't think they were really designed to drive that fast. Yeah.
they rev higher than a normal diesel. It'll rev. It doesn't have a tack, but if I had to guess, it probably revs around 445.
Yeah.
So
There's no tack, huh?
yeah, it's got a shift light.
Yeah.
It's no tack. I got a speedometer and a clock.
I remember shift lights. You always put a piece of electrical tape over it. Fuck you, economy mode. That's how this car drives. Stop
Yeah, no,
blasting.
oh yeah, it does the whole, it rolls smoke really hard if I get on it, it'll roll smoke.
Well, in the original in 83, it was probably still regular injected, right? It wouldn't have been all
No,
electronic and shit. It would have been all
it's
mechanical.
all mechanical. That whole
Yeah.
engine, you could have an EMP go off and that engine will still run.
Oh,
It's
that's awesome.
all mechanical. There's nothing electrical in it at all.
Yeah.
So even the glow plugs are just on a freaking mechanical relay.
Yeah.
So it's all mechanical. There's actually guys like to take that motor and put it in the Suzuki Samurais and crawl them. They put that in a Suzuki Sammy with
That's the one they used?
yeah, that's the motor they love. It's a good motor. It's a 1.6 liter diesel.
Yeah.
It's not big.
It's this big.
Yeah. And but yeah, it's all mechanical fuel injection, diesel injection.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just fucking works and they run great. There's guys you can put a turbo on them and they'll wake up a lot, and they don't
Yeah,
care. It's diesels are so weird with turbos. You literally just put it on and it
they love
makes
turbo.
it work. You don't have to worry about our fuel ratios or
Yeah.
it just works. Fucking wild. So I've contemplated rebuilding it, but it still runs. So I'm like,
Yeah, if it's been
yeah.
well maintained, man, that could be a 500,000 million mile engine.
It just keeps fucking going. It just doesn't care. Because I was like, it'd be
Once you've
cool if it
opened it up, it's been opened up right now. It's probably still factory sealed originally.
right.
I fuck with it.
Exactly.
Working.
I've I've decided in my head if the motor ever goes,
What up, J team?
I don't know if I'm gonna put and rebuild it if it's rebuildable, or
Yeah.
put a more modern diesel in it, like a Volkswagen diesel in it. Would be kind of
Yeah,
cool.
you gotta stick with the old shit that's EMP
I
proof.
know it just kind of ruins it if I don't. That's why I'm back to my but it would drive so much better with a newer diesel.
That's all right. You're still gonna be fucking crammed in there. Fucking.
Well, when I build my new bench seat, I'll be actually be really comfortable in it when I build my new bench seat because it'll be like
Yeah,
8
if you
inches
build a
lower.
custom one, yeah, you can make it all low and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna do. I already got the fabric for it and all the stuff to do it, just sitting in a corner. So and can't fabricate because I don't have a welder. So once I have the welder, I can do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was I was talking to a buddy of mine. I'm like, yeah, I think I'm gonna drop the motor out of it one of these days, kind of clean it up, make it look pretty, and then replace my rewire it, you know. And he's like, well, you like do your own harness? I'm like, yeah, I'll do my own harness. He's like, would that be hard? I'm like, no, it's like 20 wires.
Yeah,
It's like
right. There's nothing to it.
horn, lights, the glow plugs, the radiator fan. I think that's it. Like, there's really not much in it.
There you go. J team,
Yeah,
I'd love to put one of those motors in my Samurai.
yeah. No, that's the motor. Yeah, they love that motor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
having fun with Dylan since I could see behind me on the camera. He was so confused on how I could fuck with him. He's like, he's not even looking. What the hell?
What kind of sorcery is
Yeah.
this?
Damn you, father.
But yeah, I love that pickup. And then I got two Datsuns. So I have the one Datsun I'm working on. I have another one in the front yard that's really clean, just sitting there with a tarp over it waiting.
Yeah.
So I want to restore that one. That one's in really good shape. The one actually that's in the garage was the one that's in worse shape. But that's the one I'm doing the 302 and everything, going bonkers.
Yeah.
Street legal track rat.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I got a lot of big full car projects to play with.
I only have like 3 right now, thankfully.
Well, I got a really nice 2002 Audi A4. It's a 1.8 turbo 5-speed car. It's cool. It's
Yeah.
just I need to sell it. I just haven't done anything with it yet. So that was my daily for a long time. It needs a clutch, actually. It does need a clutch.
Yeah.
Otherwise, that car's been awesome. Love that car, but I just don't need it anymore. So I
Yeah.
got
There's only room and time for so many, sadly.
yeah. Well, I got that car for nothing. I literally traded 2 RC cars for it. So it
Good deal.
had it threw a timing belt. So pulled the
Ah,
head off. It had 4 bent valves, replaced the bent valves, put it back together, driven the piss out of it ever since.
really? You didn't even do a head job on it? You just swapped the valves?
Didn't need it. It did it when it was idling. It was idling when it threw the belt.
Yeah.
They're just a really tight tolerance engine, so you can even see where it tapped on the piston. You can even see where it tapped the valve.
Yeah.
I just pulled it out. I did a whole head job on it. Did new guides, new seals.
Oh, so you did do a whole head job.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, no, I did pull the head. Yeah, no, sorry, I did. Yeah, I went and had the lead. I had the head surfaced, cleaned
Yeah.
it, guides, seals, new valves. Just the valves
Yeah.
that were bad though, and then just lapped them. I didn't do anything fancy. Lapped them, did the whole make
Yeah.
sure.
That's what I always do is just lap them old school.
Yeah,
A lot of
and
dudes don't even know about that anymore, but it fucking works
yep,
amazing. Anytime I have heads off anything, even if it's just for a head gasket or something, I'm lapping the valves.
yep. And put it all back together, and yeah, I've driven the shit out of it ever since. It's been a good car. It'd probably go drive right now if I wanted to.
Yeah.
It's a fun car. A 1.8 turbo, all-wheel drive, 5-speed, and those A4s are lightweight. It's fun to drive.
Yeah, the little cars.
Yeah, it's a fun car. It had all the bells and whistles, had the heated seats and all the cool shit. Yeah, that was a good car.
Damn, that was like high-end options back then.
Yeah, it's an O2, so it's got like the dual zone climate control. I put in a really nice tuned-in Android deck in it.
Hmm.
It's got the heated seats, it's got the fog lights, it's got the sunroof that pops up, it's got the rear heated seats. Actually, it's the rear heated seats too on that car.
Yeah.
Um, and they still
Someone,
work.
someone checked every option on that car.
Yeah, it was a nice A4. It wasn't an S line, but it was a
No,
loaded A4.
those
And
S's are sweet.
yeah, it's got the adjustable headlights with the suspension.
Hmm.
Yeah, not like my Q5 or my Q7. Those things are nuts. I love my new ones.
Yeah.
I got to service the trans on both of them. I don't want to do it, but I have to. I
Yeah,
do.
it doesn't give me in the Subaru, it doesn't give me any specs on ever servicing the trans, changing fluid.
It doesn't with Audi either. They're a
And I'm like, that seems sketchy, but
lifetime
I think at
fluid.
like 75,000, I'm gonna drain and fill it.
Yeah, mine is at 68,000. My wife's is at 98,000. She's the
Yeah.
Q7 that I towed with. So it
Well,
needs a little.
yours are automatics too, right?
They're ACEN 8 speeds. They're good
Yeah.
trans. They're really good transmissions, but still, I mean, it doesn't matter how good it is if you don't take care of it.
Yeah. Especially with automatics, you got to get all that clutch.
It's just such a pain. You got to take the pan off, pull the filter, clean the
Mhm.
solenoids, and then refill it. You have to have it up in the air, started, running. So you're laying under this thing running with the drivetrain going, pumping fluid in. Like, don't fucking hate doing it. Catalytic converter's like right fucking there.
Yeah, you're getting hot as fuck.
Yeah, on hers it's there. On mine, my catalytic's up higher, so catalytic's up higher. But on hers, it's right fucking there. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
I don't want to burn my arm.
Oh, and it's expensive. The fluid they use in those is fucking expensive too.
I bet.
That's a lot because of the coolers and everything. So it's like 8 quarts, I think. And it's like $50 a quart or something, 40 or $50 a quart.
Why?
Yeah, if you get the good, like German Volkswagen recommended good shit, which is what I'd want to do.
That's
Six.
well, the SVT was the same way when I did the trans and that. I had it rebuilt and modified with better shift forks and all kinds of shit.
Good
And
diff.
Quake diff, it's fucking rock solid now, but the
Yeah.
fluid was like back in the day, this was probably 12 years ago. Well, shit, no, this would have been like 15, 16 years ago. It was like $32 a quart. Like, oh God, what is this? You know, good synthetic was like $5 a quart back then.
It
And
probably needs to be done, flushed and redone now.
yeah,
Even sitting for a while, that stuff goes bad.
yeah. And it's
But
probably ludicrously expensive now because that was a long time ago and everything.
it's probably about the same. If you buy like, off the shelf, like performance brand stuff,
No, I'd go get the
probably.
special Ford shit again. That was insane. The guy that rebuilt my
Oh yeah.
Granny designed the Mondeo. So he designed that car because it was the Mondeo in England that brought over here.
Yeah.
And so he knew it. That's why he lived in Grand Rapids, Michigan. He retired from Ford and he specialized in rebuilding the 2.5 and 3 liter Durtex and
Mhm.
doing those MTX 75 trannies and all that shit because
Yeah.
he knew them all. He had a lot of cool stories and information for me on that car I'd never known otherwise. Like I know the whole history of that car, how it was developed, the SVT version, how it came,
Yeah.
all of it. Cool dude. And he told me, I was like, what do I run? I'll just put like AMSOIL of the right viscosity in, right? He's like, no, that's good stuff, but in these trannies, I always run this. He's like, if you run this, you'll be golden. Nothing
Yeah.
else works as well. I was like, okay. So I went to the Ford dealer to buy it. And he told me the price. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's how much a quart?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. The Audi uses I'm trying to remember the name of it right now. Give me a second. They use Pentosan. So I can buy Pentosan and it's the same stuff.
yeah.
but Pentosin's not really much cheaper than just going to the dealership and buying it. It's not, it's
Yeah.
margin, but it's basically this, it's the same stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, see what does Pentosin run right now? See what it would cost. Pentosin.
Oh man, it's so stupid spending the money to maintain them properly, but then at the same time they work better for so
Oh,
much.
wow. It came way down.
Oh, that's good.
That's nice to see.
Was it
Yeah.
40 bucks a quart now?
I'm seeing it for $60 for a 5 liter.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's like 25
Yeah,
a quart now.
that's way cheaper.
Yeah, it came down a lot. It used to be way more. It used to be like $30, $40 a quart. Wonder why it came down so much. I like it though.
Yeah.
Oh, that's way less expensive than it was gonna be.
I was looking at the K10 when I was in Michigan. You gotta get the box and some of the bullshit off that, make it lighter so it's cheaper to tow, and then get that fucker down here under the pole barn now.
Yeah. I have, if I really, really wanted to, which I probably should look into this. I have in California, if I want to go down there and pick it up, take a trailer, get everything, I've got almost two complete 72 short bed step side Chevy pickups.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. 4-wheel drive
Money
too.
trucks.
4-wheel drive short bed step side. Two of them. One complete the chassis. So it was a weird deal. My real dad, my biological dad, it was his growing up. I drove around all over in it, and he used to do truck pulls with it. Went to the dunes with it.
Damn.
Um, 20 years ago, yeah, about 20 years ago, he pulled it apart, redid the frame, did did old drivetrain. So it's got a motor, well, had a motor in it, a trans, but now it's just the whole frame assembly, suspension, all brand new bushings, painted, everything's done. And then he got another one from a buddy of his that had a better body on it. Um, and he still had the cab off of his wasn't horrible. It was completely savable. Um, and it's all just sitting under tarps under a covered area in Central California, just sitting there. It's all sitting there, just not doing anything with it. And I know my dad will never go fucking grab it. And I know the guy that it's at the shop property for my very good friend of my friend of ours family. It's a whole family we know.
Hmm.
It's out where they do all the farm equipment. 'Cause that's where where my dad worked was all the farm equipment down there. And so he was working on his truck in that same shop.
Yeah.
So they had a falling out. He left and just left the truck, and it's just sitting there. And I've talked to him briefly about it. The guy that owns the
I was gonna
shop.
say, you sure it's still there?
I've talked to him about it. It said it's all sitting there, and he's like, if you really want it, we'll figure it out. You can come get it because it was supposed to become my truck anyway when I turned 18. Never did. Long story
Yeah.
there. But it's been tempting with how the price of those things are now going through the roof.
Yeah,
Take a
67 to 72 truck short, but big money truck.
short bed step side 4-wheel drive. It's
Yeah.
like pink, 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 pink. Yep.
Yep.
And he's got two cabs, two bed assemblies, two hoods, two grills, two front fenders. He's got two of the whole body.
Yeah.
Uh, and then one just basically mint chassis sitting there
Yeah.
on tires and wheels. I mean, the tires are probably shot, but
Yeah.
all just sitting there, all covered up. And it's in California, so it's not going to be
Yeah. It's
upset.
not getting super hot or super cold or super.
Not getting rusty or nothing. It's just sitting there.
Yep.
Yep, and it's all covered up. He's got all the glass. I think he has a whole bed kit for it too to do the wood bed. I mean, he's
Damn.
got
So
he's
it just
got
gets
everything.
put together.
It needs a motor. The trans and the transfer case and the transmission are in it. It's got a 5-speed in it, so it's a
Nice.
5-speed truck. Yep, and yeah, it just needs a motor. I can just put a 350 in there, a nice healthy 350. It'd be a blast.
Yep.
So, but that's a lot to go down. I got a buddy with a big enough trailer. We've briefly talked about it, but I don't know. Maybe someday. I got too many projects here already, but
Yeah.
I don't want to have to store 2 trucks worth of parts basically anymore up here right
A
now.
lot of space.
This takes a lot of space. But if I ever get these Datsuns done and clear out some of my shit, I might go get it. That'd be a cool truck to have. Yeah. So
Because you never know, sitting there, some dude walks up and asks, "Hey, what is that?" Or someone that works there knows what it is and says, "Hey, I want to buy that and build it." Okay.
well my dad still smartly somewhere has the titles somewhere.
Oh, okay, that's good.
He's got the titles for them, then they're vending and everything. So and it's funny because I'm the second, so we have the same name.
Yeah.
Oh, I can get away with a lot of shit with that. And he's pretty dumb with some shit, so yeah,
Makes it easy.
it wouldn't be hard for me to just deal. It wouldn't be hard for me to deal with the titles and get them in my name. Like
Yeah.
it wouldn't be hard. Oh, but that'd be a cool pickup to have. It's a really
Hell
fucking bad.
yeah.
I love that truck.
Lifted 6 inches, put on some 33s or something.
He's already got it lifted. I said
Yeah.
he used to truck pull and dune it. He used to take it to the dunes and truck pull with it. Fucking
Yeah.
rock. He had that thing so dialed, and he had the right rear. He put it. I think he put a different rear end in it. He did because he was going to street it more and not drive it on the sand anymore. I think he put a different rear end in it. I don't know what.
What, ring and pinion?
Yeah,
What's it got in it? 14 bolt?
no idea, honestly.
Might be a Dana 60 or
He
9.
might. He actually might have put a 9 inch in it.
I was gonna say probably 14, 60 or 9.
I think he put a 9 inch in the rear, and I think the front's a Dana 44. I think.
That's what would have come in a stock.
Yeah. So, um, but yeah, I know it's the transmission's been gone through. The transfer case went through. He went through the diffs. He did all the suspension, new struts, did the springs, um, new steering box. He went through the whole chassis and had it ready to just do the body work and put the body on it. And then
Yeah.
they fell out, and he just left it.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, he had nowhere to take it. It's long.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
dad's
You
got
got
all
nowhere
kinds
to
of,
store it. And what are you gonna do?
yeah, exactly. So he just left it there. And yeah, that'd be so cool to get that picked up. It'd be a cool
Yeah.
one. That'd be a cool pickup. Too much other shit going on. Oh,
All right. What time is it? 10:15. Well, I
yep.
suppose might as well call it. I'm gonna drive back to the other house because I still have no furniture here. So I'm not sleeping on the tile on a blanket again. Just sucked.
Eat a
Uh,
hammock. Get a
yeah,
hammock.
right. I have an air mattress I could bring over, but fuck it. Uh, so yeah, we will see you guys next week. And I guess, yeah, I'll probably be working on implements next week, sitting on the floor, low level. And I don't know if you'll have any projects going on or what, but
I don't know. I'm working on a lot of Christmas present projects right now, so I've been doing a lot of
okay.
a lot of laser cutting and gluing things together. So
Yeah.
that's been taking up a lot of my time.
All
Uh,
right.
that and some speaker business stuff has been kind of busy.
Mhm.
So I've been trying to keep up with that.
All
Yeah,
right. Well, thanks everyone for stopping in.
for
We
sure.
will see you next week.
Yep. See you
Peace.
guys.
It's gonna take me a second to end it because I got to switch screens and shit. Doing this with a single screen is stupid. There we go. Later, y'all.
Later.